Hello and welcome to this week's edition of FX Addicts Weekly Market Analysis. This is Tim, the Currency Professor, and today is Friday, November 23rd, 2012. We had some action this week, positive for the euro, negative for the dollar. The euro today, up right now about 90 pips, up about 100 earlier, backed off a little bit. We still got a little while until we close, but nonetheless still looks fairly positive here. Again, this week being all up, and we got now this kind of U-shaped bottom forming. We ran all the way up here, made some highs above some minor trend lines, bounced around there for a while, sold off, came back down to somewhat of a support area, and now have rallied up. There is an awful lot of enthusiasm here for the euro, and an awful lot of speculation out there that the euro is going to remain strong against the dollar and other currencies for that matter, and that things will be worked out, and the euro will be valuable, more valuable than it is now. The problem with that type of scenario is there's still an awful lot of issues within Europe, and it's going to take a long time, years, for that to work out. So to anticipate that the euro is going to gain that much ground against the dollar at this early stage is really overreaching. So that being said, that's from a fundamental standpoint. Technical standpoint, right now we got a pretty good base starting, so we could rally up from here. Now if we look at the weeklies, we can see how we've rallied up into this consolidation area where we were several months ago, and the possibility still exists that we could come right back down next week. So there is, even though we're rallying up, there's still a lot of pressure to the downside. And here on the monthlies we can see how now we have turned positive for the month, and we're just barely above this channel line, this upper channel line. I really don't expect it to go too far above that. We would have to close the month out, which is next Friday, a week from today, up around 133. That would be a significant enough move that we could say, all right, this has indeed turned around, and we are going to go up here to the upper channel line, which is about 145. That is a possibility, although very, very remote. Now the pound dollar also having a very big day today. Up about 96 pips, back up above 160. Also showing a lot of very good strength here, and forming the same type of U or V-shaped bottom here as in the euro. So it has the potential to base out here. We do have a lot more that we're fighting with technically here on the pound than we did with the euro, and we can see that here on the weeklies. We're in the same range now that we were all the way back here in 2009 and even in 2008. So to say that we're going to break out and move significantly higher, probably not. The best we could really hope for is to get up to around 165, and that would be probably about it. If we look on the monthlies, we've talked about this many times before. We're forming this triangular pattern, so we could get all the way up on the monthlies up to 167, and that would still be part of this corrective phase after this long downward trend. And what should happen is we should move to the downside out of this. Again, this can take months because we're in this pattern and this is a monthly chart, so it can take a long time for this to come to fruition. If we look at the Swiss franc here, let me get over that. Down today, dollar's down against it about 70 pips, back down in this range where we've been for several months, so really looking like that's going to continue for a while. We look at the weeklies, we can see how on the weeklies, we've talked about this before, we moved up for about 3 weeks, and now the last couple of weeks we've sold off again, getting right back down in this range. It's very much like we did back here, and this consolidation back here really expected to be mirrored here. So if that's indeed plays out, we got till about the end of December until we start to move back up. And if we look here on the monthlies, we can see how that is indeed what could very easily happen. Once we get into January, then we can start popping up, maybe close the end of January up around 100, which would be the trend line, and eventually February bouncing up above that, closing well above that. So there's a very good possibility of that happening. Don't see it going down too far because of the spike low. Looking out at the U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen, a very big week this week. Last couple of days we rallied quite a bit. Yesterday and today kind of consolidating a little bit. Today down about 5 pips, but we are still up above 82. So very, very bullish sign here. Looks very good longer term. We look at the weeklies here. We can see how we're starting to break out now. Ideally, we need to close up here above 84. So it's very possible next week we could even get up to that level. Ultimately, looking for it to close above 86. Once it does that, if we look on the monthlies, then we're in for a pretty big rally after that. Technically speaking, we could rally well up into the hundreds after that. So looks very positive longer term. Coming back to the Euro Swiss, that has sold off quite a bit from its highs, and here we sit now for the last couple of weeks consolidating. Today down about 7 pips right now, just around 124, 120.42, 120.40, depending on your quote service. Really looking for this to sell off to about 120.10 area and consolidate down there for a little while, and then popping back up, ultimately going to about 124. Longer term, it still looks very, very positive. Euro against the yen, very, very strong week this week. Up about 67 pips right now, just under 107. So looks very positive longer term. I'm sorry, short term here. You can see here in the stochastics, very, very overbought at this point. And on the weeklies, we're closing the week well above this this trend line that we have, or channel line that we've been following here for the last couple of years, and we're closing significantly above it. So that is a positive sign. However, we look at the monthlies, and we're still well within this this downward sloping channel. We're at the upper end of it, but nonetheless we're still in it. There's a lot of damage that's been done in this market, especially back here. It's going to take an awful lot to turn this market around. There's going to have to be a lot of really, really good news for the euro to turn this market around. Now, that doesn't mean that the Japanese yen cannot lose value against the euro, which it has, and that's part of the reason for the euro going up against the yen. But longer term, the euro is still the weaker of the two. So it's going to take a lot of momentum, a lot of good fundamental news to really bust this out of here and make it rally significantly here. So ultimately, we still think it's going to go down to around that upper 80s, lower 90s area, and at least meet this area that we made back in 1999-2000. That is it for the week. Please stop on by FX Addicts if you haven't already, and if you are a member, thank you for being a member, and please utilize all of our features, including our live trading room. Otherwise, have a good trading week, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you.